There's one more thing I want to mention about the match. And WCW and the phrase international object is uttered
Oh
by
God.
Jim Ross. TBS imposed nonsense political correctness that failed to grasp the double meaning of the word foreign. I asked this to Eric. By the way, this is probably an announcement. I interviewed Eric Bischoff last week. That he'll be coming up this weekend. And I was asking for more examples of just TBS, Turner, just complete stupidity as far as things like that go.
So what's the question about the foreign
international objects and other stupid WCW buzzwords like that.
Well, that was trying to be, I don't know, politically correct, I think. That was when you'd have to give another definition to. And the international objects, a wrestling fan said that there, said, wait a minute, used to be a foreign object. We can't say foreign anymore. I don't know. No, it was just an international object. Or they may have thought that Jim Ross was just trying to be cute with it. But it never caught on.
Do you know what the story is? I'll tell you. Eric said to me that was a Ted Turner from himself edict because he hated the word foreign. So whenever Eric would go to him and say, we're talking about foreign markets, and he'd say, don't say foreign, say international. And that ended up somehow bleeding from Ted Turner from the top down.
Well, who set the rule? Ted?
He was Ted himself, yeah.
Okay. Ted was, I was at Channel 17 before it became the Superstation. That was the company I was working for. And this was back before anything. I mean, they had one company there and they got on TBS. They used to be on like Channel 11 or Channel, I don't know what other channel in Atlanta, but I don't know how they ended up on Channel 17. But that's how it had expanded when Channel 17 became the Superstation. So we used to get to TV early sometimes. Ted Turner would be at the station and he'd come in and say hello. How you guys doing? Very friendly. So one day I'm in there, another true story, and he has this lady friend with him and he's showing her the station. And he said, well, this is a studio. And I said, we have wrestling here on one of our live shows, or he's telling her, and, here are some of the wrestlers. Guess who that lady was?
Go on.
Sophia Loren. And he was showing her the station. I went, what the hell? But he walked through like he just one of the guys, and he said, hey, say hello to Sophia, guys. And we all went, hey, what you going to say, And he had another big star that he brought through that she was with him. It's on a Saturday morning too. So, but he was a very friendly guy, very approachable. And I think that's why he was as successful as he was.
Yeah. Is this in 72, 73 when you were breaking in?
Probably. That's 50 years ago. 50 years ago. Now, Ted is up where? In Montana now? He's not dead, is he?
No, he's still alive. I believe he's like maybe of a private owner. Like he owns the most land in the United States. Something like that.
Really?
Yeah. And it's all wilderness land and stuff. So it's sort of.
I heard he was up in Montana or Wyoming or somewhere. But anyway, good guy.
With WCW, when you were back in 1990, 1991, did you ever end up in one of those like big group photos with Ted Turner and a load of wrestlers behind him smiling?
I never ended up in one of those ever. Wish I had been, but I didn't. But he has said, and you can look this up, without wrestling, he said his station may not have made it. He said wrestling paid the bills. He said without wrestling, he said, I don't know how he would have done. So he had a lot of appreciation for professional wrestling. When the other stations were turning it down, he was begging for it because it reached the people he wanted it to reach. He reached the regular people. He reached working class America. And I've told this a lot of times. I said, a lot of times when I get in a ring and I look at, even in WWE, you see the big sellout and you look around, especially in the country. What you're looking at, and what I finally decided, what I'm looking at is America. That's what I'm looking at out there. Working America, people that go to work every day, send their kids to school, pay taxes, vote. But that's what I'm looking at out there. That's what its main appeal is. As long as you don't make it dirty or, kind of crude, you'll have that group, because that's who it appeals to. And I met a lot of doctors and a lot of lawyers. They said, "Oh no, I think why TV stations look down on it, because they thought it was base. They thought it was the lowest you can go, but that's not it." I met a lot of doctors and a lot of lawyers, a lot of teachers, and they love it. They're big wrestling fans, except they won't tell you they wouldn't tell you if they were wrestling fans. They may today, but they didn't before. It had what they call the country music syndrome. Years ago, people would never tell you they listened to country music, because it made them look country. It made them look less than the cool kids. But that was the same people that wrestling drew, was the country music people. And I was always proud to be a part of it. I loved wrestling fans, because without them, I would maybe had to go out and get a real job. And I didn't mind getting a real job, but after I got there, they wanted me to actually do something like work. And I didn't, in the times, that 7 to 3 didn't work. I was more like a 10-15-ish type of guy, to like 2 o'clock. I could do that. The 4-hour deal didn't be good.
That's basically our podcast schedule that we do. 10:30 till 2 or something like that we record.
Well, it works good for me.
You don't have to leave the house. It's perfect. We will end on this final question. Oh, also, I just want to make mention that people always talk about the glorious mustache, but in the 90s, people don't mention the fantastic mullet that you had as well, which we should pay tribute to at some point.
Well, I never thought about really, it's just guys wore their hair that way. And what I would do, he was short on top and a mullet in the back. So I had both of it. So if you're just looking straight onto me, I had like shorter hair, much shorter hair, but in the back, it was the mullet. So, and people, when they started saying something about it, that's when I cut it off.
Well, we know what we say, don't we? Is business at the front, party at the rear.
Say what now?
Is business at the front, party at the back.
Oh, well, that's what it was then.
Yeah, for some reason, the mullet seemed to last like 10 years longer in wrestling than in anywhere else. We will end on this question.
Hey, I saw a movie yesterday. Have you ever seen The Wrestler?
Yeah, we've discussed The Wrestler. You hated it.
I did hate it, but my daughter, she wanted to see it again. I said, "This is a horrible movie. It's depressing as hell. He was a bum. He was a loser, living in a trailer. He couldn't even pay his rent, but yet he was a big star." And there are really guys out there like that still think, well, maybe I'll make the big time again. Hey, if you hadn't made it by the time you make 30, maybe it's time to look for something else, because time's running out and promoters don't have time for older guys. Now they do maybe now a little bit, but you better have something that you're known for, or something that's going to sell some tickets or create some interest, or you're not going to make it.